Shalom, this is Ariel Tal from Machon Meir, and today we're going to continue our Tefilla Talks by not tackling a specific tefillah, rather by tackling a word that we say many times throughout the day, whether it be in tefillah, around the Shabbat table, over food, or even just as a passing blessing to our friend. The word is Baruch. Baruch. We say that word a lot, many times a day. And even Chazal instruct us that a person ideally should say 100 brachot a day. So saying Baruch at least 100 times a day is a lot of times to say a word that we don't necessarily understand. What does it mean? Does it really mean blessed? And what does blessed mean? So again, as we said regarding tefillah, translations can often be misleading. Blessed is when I put my hands over something and I give it a praise, or I take for myself and I say, I want to impart this on you. And so therefore it is blessed, and it's a transference of power, of spirituality, of honor. That's not necessarily the meaning of the word Baruch. What does Baruch actually mean? So, as we already understood, in order to understand a word, we have to go back to its root word. And the root word of Baruch is Bet Resh Chaf. Resh Chaf is a fascinating word. We have it on our bodies. It's called the berach, the knee. So what does the knee do? The knee essentially joins the two parts of the leg and helps them function together. The knee in itself is nothing. It is almost useless, but the knee is useful for connecting the two parts of our leg, helping us bend, helping us move, helping us function, giving us flexibility. That's the function of the knee. Essentially the same function of the elbow. So what does that have to do with the word Baruch? So the person, the Rav, who gave the most insight into this, to my recollection, is the Maharal from Prague. The Maharal from Prague tackles the concept of Baruch using what's called gematria, or the numerical value of the letters. And the numerical value of the letters is actually a mathematical sequence. Bet is 2, Kaf is 20, and Resh is 200. All three of those numbers happen to be the first multiplication number, the first multiple number of the respective categories: ones, tens, and hundreds. 2, 20, and 200. And what's the significance of that? So if we ask the backdrop question, we'll be able to understand what the power of the word Baruch is. The backdrop question is a question that was asked by many philosophers throughout the ages, specifically the Greek ones, which the Maharal confronts, which is, how can God, who's oneness, who's the source of oneness, create a world of duality? Create a world where if we have a book and we call it one book, it's not really one book. The book is comprised of many different parts: the paper, the ink, the binding. And so to everything in this world, a human body is not one. It is a collection of a lot of different parts put into one package. So how can the source of oneness be the source of duality? It doesn't make logical sense. The word Baruch comes to tell us a statement. And the statement we have to tell ourselves time and time again, for ourselves, not for God, but for ourselves, is that Hashem, in fact, is the source of 2, 20, and 200, which represent duality. And that is the greatness of Hashem, that it may defy the human finite logic, but essentially it's true. Hashem was the source of oneness, created the world, which is limited, and a limited world means that there is duality. And by saying this, reiterating it again and again and again, we're able to internalize that God is the source of everything in the world, even with that backdrop philosophical question nagging. That's why we have to remind ourselves of what the emunah is and the perspective of the connection between Hashem and the limited world. This has been Ariel from Machon Meir.